Could the fishermen's cabins have been saved? The new Hartlepool Borough Council. This and much, much more from our interview with Tees Valley Combined Authority Mayor Ben Houchen. We're here again at the Tees Valley Combined Authority with Mayor Ben Houchen. Mayor Houchen, thank you very much for the interview.
No, thanks for coming back.
Well, it's important because we started Hartlepool TV because we felt Hartlepool was the forgotten town, the forgotten people, and we wanted to bring more information and make them feel included.
Yep.
And to know that their voice was heard. And absolutely every single time we've asked you for an interview, you've said yes unequivocally, and here we are again, and it's really appreciated because I think we're doing a lot to bridge that thought.
No, that's really grand. I mean, Hartlepool's an intrinsic and important part of the Tees Valley.
Exactly.
We put a lot of money into Hartlepool, so the people need to know exactly what's going on in their local area.
Exactly. And so when we knew that we were going to have an interview, we asked the viewers to put in questions.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay. So I've got some questions. Some of them might be a bit hairy.
No, that's fine. I don't mind.
So hang on there, right? So we made a compilation because obviously we've got loads of duplicates and everything. Most asked, not really an elephant in the room. It's about the $2 million per year for 5 years, generously given to by the Tees Valley Combined Authority to the 5 councils for job creation and growing viable businesses, not small projects like Middleton Cabins. Could Hartlepool Borough Council have used the money to rescue the fishermen, as you publicly alluded, or do you perhaps owe the old HBC an apology?
Well, the straightforward answer is no, I don't owe them an apology. £10 million has been dedicated to Hartlepool specifically for small projects. As an organisation, we deal with things like the airport, Darlington Station, Middlesbrough Station, Hartlepool Waterfront, all of the big things that cost tens and tens of millions of pounds. And we get approached all the time from small community groups, charities, local councils saying, can we have £5,000 here, can we have £10,000 there? And we're not allowed to do that. It's not part of what we do. But what we were able to do is give each local authority £10 million each, and they can spend that on whatever they want. So the cabins were within the remit, and still are within the remit of Hartlepool Borough Council to be able to fund. The problem is now, a lot of those cabins have been knocked down, the leases have ended, obviously PD Ports have taken the reversion interest back. But that money could definitely have been used to save those cabins, and it was completely within the gift of Hartlepool Borough Council to do that.
That's answered that one.
It should also be noted for the future as well, other similar projects of that nature, that £10 million is still there. They could use that for those other projects as well. So if anybody is getting short thrift from the council about we don't have the money, you'll have to go somewhere else for it, there's a £10 million pot there that they can use to make sure they're supporting small community projects, which is what that money is there for.
Fantastic. Thank you. Next question. People are shocked councillors are placed on committees such as Tees Valley Combined Authority, Police and Crime Commission by their respective council leaders, but they don't turn up. You, the Tees Valley, need a quorum of 10 to make decisions, and in one instance, only 6 councillors turned up. Are you surprised? Viewers want to know, is there anything you can do about it?
Well, for those that don't know the detail of that, I mean, in particular, Hartlepool Borough Council representatives were the issue. If you look at the attendance record, Hartlepool Borough Council councillors are not turning up when they should be, and that was largely, it's around political representation, so the largest group on the council get more representatives on things like our scrutiny committee. And at the time, Labour representatives were not turning up from Hartlepool Borough Council. That will hopefully change under the new administration. It's going to be run by the independents, which I'm looking forward to.
Well, I've got a question about that a little bit later on.
Yeah, absolutely. But we need to make sure that people turn up, because if they're not turning up, then people like me aren't being held to account, and they're not able to influence some of the decisions that are going on in my organisation.
Yeah, I mean, it's vital that they attend these things.
Absolutely, it is.
Will you, the Tees Valley Combined Authority, be different to the many pie-in-the-sky quangos that have been and gone, leaving decay, destruction, desolation in their wake, like the money spent and wasted on Jackson's Landing, because yet another amount of money is about to be put in there again? How are we going to stop the same thing happening with Jackson's Landing as happened?
Well, I think, number one, I'm not a quango. I'm directly elected by the people of the Tees Valley, including the people of Hartlepool. I know. I appreciate the sentiment of the question, but I think it's right to tell people that if they're not happy with the decisions that I make, they can have a direct influence of that by either voting for me or not voting for me. A lot of quangos, obviously, you can't do that. It's bureaucrats in back offices. What I would say about Hartlepool, given all of the elections across the whole of the Tees Valley, I'm sitting down with, after the AGM that Hartlepool will have to elect their new leader, I'll be sitting down with their new leader and saying, what are the priorities for Hartlepool? Have they changed compared to the Labour administration? Where do you want me to help Hartlepool? And I'll be working extremely closely with whoever that new leader is come your AGM to make sure that Hartlepool's priorities are being met.
And that's vitally important. Yeah, so that leads into the other question, because we're taping this on Tuesday the 21st of May in the afternoon. So the big council meeting is tonight, where the change of leadership will be decided. What do you think will happen, and what would you like to happen?
Well, the answer to that question is both one and the same, I think, and I would like to see an independent administration. The fact that Hartlepool is elected now, the majority of independent councillors on its council, there's been a clear rejection of the Labour Party within Hartlepool, as well as actually large parts of the Tees Valley. And I think people would feel like their vote hasn't counted if there is some sort of backroom stitch-up where Labour are allowed to remain in power. I mean, people's votes have to count for something.
Exactly.
And, do I know whether the independent administration is going to succeed or not? I don't. But I do think Hartlepool needs change. I do think that the potential administration has some really good ideas, and I think they deserve a chance to develop a really positive vision and a change for the people of Hartlepool.
Yeah, because, and the other thing as well is, no matter who takes over, this first year is going to be a darn tough year for whoever takes over, because this is a big ship to right, isn't it?
It's also interesting in Hartlepool compared to elsewhere that, you have elections most years, and actually the whole of Hartlepool Council's up for election next year. I mean, you've got all-out elections. So there's a 12-month period as well to show positive change, to be able to justify why the people of Hartlepool voted for them.
Yeah, because every single council is up for re-election next year. That's such a key point. But I get quite a few people stopping me in the streets these days, and as one lady said to me, they want to start looking after their own from now on. And we've been beating the drum about the council shouldn't be against you, it should be a champion of the people. And whoever takes over, I pray that that's the major change.
You ultimately want people who want what is best for the town. And I think there's been a feeling in the past that hasn't been the case.
That's
that's what politics is about. And if you don't feel like the people who are going to be put in charge want what's best for the town, well, next year you'll be able to throw them out as well. But unless you hold these people to account and they feel like that they have a right to power and they have a right to be in charge, then that's a bad place to be. I mean, people need competition. They need to feel like they're on their toes, and they need to be able to justify their own positions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, people get fat and lazy, and that's when you get areas of decline because people don't take their area seriously enough.
Exactly. This next question's an interesting one. Will you continue to be a member of the Conservative Party now Brexit has not been delivered?
I'm a member of the Conservative Party. I mean, I'm going to remain a member of the Conservative Party. I am extremely disappointed that we haven't already left the European Union yet. I am a Brexiteer. I campaigned for leave. I would vote leave again tomorrow. And if there was another referendum, which, God forbid there ever is, I will be campaigning for leave yet again. So it doesn't change my position on Brexit, but I will remain a member of the Conservative Party as well.
We'll make this the last question from our viewers, and we've just got a couple of our own. And they want to know, are you going to stand again next year in the 2020 elections?
Absolutely. I'll be standing to be Mayor of the Tees Valley for as long as the people of the Tees Valley elect me.
You heard it here, folks. Right, some questions of our own. I'm going to have to embellish this question a little bit, because not all our viewers will be up to speed on this. There's plans to create a £230 million energy plant, literally just half a mile outside Seaton Carew, creates 300 jobs. It would turn over 550,000 tonnes of dry household and industrial waste a year that would otherwise go to a landfill. Nick Roberts, a planning consultant, said they won't hear anything or smell anything. But the plant has an emissions chimney stack of 90 metres, that's like 300 feet or something, isn't it? How on earth can we believe there'll be no smell and we won't hear them? And why so close to Seaton Village?
Well, I think there's lots of different parts to this. I think let's wind it back a little bit. I mean, they've only just recently announced that they want to do this, and I think ultimately, big investment in Teesside, big investment in Hartlepool has to be welcomed. But there's a long way to go yet as to whether this actually happens.
I know, but if it does happen,
if it does happen, we need to make sure, and this is goes back to the council. The council needs to put in stringent restrictions in place to make sure that they don't have a detrimental impact on the local community. The smell is contained. The movements along the trunk road and the roads, make sure that they don't create excess traffic. All of these things need to be taken into account.
Overall, do you think it's going to be a good thing?
I think overall it can be a good thing, and I think these things have to be welcomed. But we need to make sure that local councillors are looking at this carefully, the right restrictions are put in place, and it's being managed correctly. Let's be honest, I mean, if you could say to the people of Hartlepool, you're going to get this investment, it's going to create 300 jobs, it's going to be managed correctly, there isn't actually going to be any smell because we've put all of these restrictions in place. I don't think anybody would not want it to happen, but it's about the process of making sure that we do get those protections in place to deliver the investment.
And keeping the public informed.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, transparency is key. Well, hopefully we'll see that a bit more from the new administration at Hartlepool Borough Council.
Let's hope so. What's the update on the name of the airport? Because
Well, some of your listeners will know that we're in a bit of a dispute with a gentleman who owns the rights to Teesside Airport.
International Airport.
No, we're trying to register Teesside International Airport, and he's saying it's too similar to his registration of Teesside Airport. So we're currently going through a dispute with him. It'll be resolved.
So it's not resolved yet.
Not yet, but I'm confident that it will be resolved, and we'll be changing the name in due course.
There was a Twitter post sent to you by a traveller coming in to the airport on KLM, and he says, landed at 9:30, disembarked at 9:33, in the car park at 9:40. After all the traumas of buying the airport, how much satisfaction does that give you? Because that's great, isn't it?
It is, it's brilliant, but to some extent you kind of want more complaints about delays at the terminal because that means more traffic at the terminal. So no, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that we're getting positive feedback about our airport, there's going to be some big changes over the coming months. There's going to be the name change when we resolve that, and hopefully an announcement of some new flights from the airport. But you know, this is just the start. There's a long way to go. I'm just really pleased that the whole of Teesside has been getting behind the airport now that we've bought it. But it's not going to be a quick fix, but we'll get there.
Okay. Well, hopefully, can you find some flights to Las Vegas? No, but finally, and again, thank you so much for your time and struggling on with your voice there. Is there anything you'd like to say to the people of Hartlepool as the town goes into this era of new change?
I think just we need to get behind the new administration, whoever that is. You've elected your representatives, but I also think you need to hold them to account, and you need to make sure that people are more transparent. People have more availability of the information that they want, and actually you demand more of your local politicians. And I think this is the problem we've had across the Tees Valley. People have been disaffected. People haven't want to be interested in local politics. But it's not until you take an interest and you use your vote wisely that you affect real change. And hopefully, the plan is to affect real positive change for the people of Hartlepool.
Mayor Houchen,
Pleasure.
thank you once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please like and follow Hartlepool TV on Facebook and YouTube.